tonight. Okay. Call this meeting to order at 6:04. We have audience of the citizens. We have a couple gentlemen here.
Good evening, Tim Sullivan, 6 Woodbine Court, Berlin, Connecticut. I'm here as a resident today. I'm also counsel to the Worthington Fire District. What prompted my attendance today was conversations that I had with the chairman of the Worthington Fire District, as well as the counsel for the Kensington Fire District, when there was an agenda item on the town council meeting for tonight, which stated that the council was going to be voting on authorizing the mayor and the manager to take a denial position on our diversion applications with the Department of Environmental Energy and Environmental Protection. At least for now, I'm going to assume everybody knows about our applications. I'm not sure when everybody became aware of our applications, but there was a consensus between my conversation with Rick and with Rick Pentor to my left and the chairman of the Worthington Fire District, that it was time for balance in the narrative here, because narrative was all one way. This same presentation will be given to the town council tonight. It's absolutely necessary to draw a line at this point. We've looked the other way for too long. But we'll start with, we got a few issues in terms of the water control, Berlin Water Control Commission, and the Worthington Fire District. I won't speak for the Kensington Fire District, but we share some issues. And I think a lot of it has to do with the adversarial approach taken by the Berlin Water Control Commission. For instance, if there's a customer dispute on Farmington Avenue and Scarborough Fair, well, we'll start with Farmington Avenue, where the Berlin Water Control Commission is declaring that it has jurisdiction over 3 of our customers, and produced these maps. Who knows where these maps came from? It's coincidentally, the Farmington Avenue customer issue was raised by the Berlin Water Control Commission after a potential public health issue was raised on one of these customers, and that potential public health issue, which is supported by an engineering letter, remains unresolved. And we are not getting a lot of cooperation from the health district in responding to our inquiries. But in any event, the Berlin Water Control Commission last late winter, early spring, declared these to be customers of the Berlin Water Control Commission, sent us a letter saying that they were going to unilaterally, and when I say you, I mean the Berlin Water Control Commission, was going to unilaterally take our meters out and replace them with their meters. Thank goodness that following discussions between myself and Attorney D'Onofrio, the parties agreed to mediate this dispute with the WUC, the Water Utility Control Commission. That's what that commission's for. Unfortunately, that hasn't gone anywhere. We're still waiting to mediate that. We've requested that this mediation forward, and we've got no response. So that's one of the issues that's out there. We have contract issues on sewer fees. I&I is a big issue. Everybody knows that. But this latest issue, we decided that we were going to purchase water, or attempt to purchase water. When I say we, the Worthington Fire District, although I'm speaking as a resident, purchase water from and through New Britain. It's going to save the Worthington Fire District customers, which are residents of the town of Berlin, I didn't do the math, I should have done the math, about $1.70 per cubic foot. Not an insignificant savings, in fact, a significant savings. Right now, the City of New Britain, which has to charge the same rates to residents of the town of Berlin, the rates that they charge their own citizens, is $3.05. And that's what Kensington Fire District pays, and that's what the Berlin Water Control Commission pays. Our contract with Kensington Fire District is going to allow us to buy water at $3.55 a cubic foot. I mean, compared to $4.80 a cubic foot presently with the Berlin Water Control Commission. I guess the question that rings loud is, why can Worthington Fire District buy water cheaper from Kensington Fire District? Is Kensington Fire District more efficient than the Berlin Water Control Commission? I think there's possibly many reasons, but why should Worthington Fire District subsidize the Berlin Water Control operations? Nobody likes being gouged. Future gouging. During preliminary contract negotiations with the Berlin Water Control Commission, they proposed a 6% increase to Worthington Fire District, but did not impose that type of increase to its individual customers, all residents of the town of Berlin. That is not good faith, and in my mind, and in a lot of people's minds, the intent was to drive Worthington Fire District out of business.
May I ask you a question? 6% from who?
Your proposal. That's what I understand.
No.
And I could be wrong with
No,
that. But
you're wrong.
Okay, I could be wrong with that. Significant increase.
No, 5% was the way we did it back in February. And we did it across the
I'm
board.
talking about the
whole
new
country.
contract. I'm talking
There's
about
no
the
new contract.
Right, I'm going to finish, okay?
I'm sorry.
No. When you thought that the contract had expired and we were entering into a new contract, you then proposed this.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm standing corrected. But there was a significant increase, and proposed a 6% increase per year. But anyways, with that on the table for future, we decided we had to go out and look for alternative sources of water, and that's what we did. And for the Berlin Water Control Commission to think that they can, and possibly the town council, which we'll talk to later tonight, think that they're an authoritarian state and can tell us who we're going to buy water from is not going to happen. If it causes problems to the Berlin Water Control Commission system, then fix your system. As simple as that, okay? But you don't dictate where we're going to buy water. The process of how this application diversion took place is we filed for a diversion application in the spring of 2025. The Berlin Water Control Commission manager, Ray Urema, I'm sorry, Jan. I'm the worst with names. I am the absolute worst.
I've seen that a couple of times.
I'm the absolute worst with names. I've called my godchild Megan, it's Megan or something. Anyways, manager of Berlin Water Control exchanged emails and materials with DEP and DPH challenging these applications. And that was beginning on June 2nd. And the letter to DEP and DPH started off with, the Berlin Water Control Commission recently received notice of. This is on June 2nd, right? Mr. Urema.
Jarema.
I'm going to call you Ray or manager.
Ray is better.
All right. That there was an extensive exchange of information. And despite that exchange of information, to support Ray's concerns, DEP published a notice of tentative determination approving the applications on September 26th of 2025. On October 9th, Ray delivered a petition seeking a public hearing on the applications to DEP. The minutes of the Berlin Water Control Commission meeting of October 28th stated, Mr. Ray recently learned about applications wrong. He learned about them 5 months earlier, but nowhere in any of the minutes of the Berlin Water Control Commission meetings is there discussion or an agenda item about this concern. Was this a concern of just Ray's, or was it a concern of the commission? And if it was a concern of the commission, why isn't it reflected in the minutes of the meetings?
Because we didn't know about it up until
Ray knew about it on June 2nd,
I knew
and
that
he didn't think it was necessary to bring it to the attention of the commission.
there was-
He knew if he brought it to the attention of the commission, then we would become aware of it. He was not being transparent. He was hiding stuff. And I think that's going on with the relationship that exists, and I'll get more to that in a second. But in any event, so So 5 months after he became aware of it, he decides, well, maybe I'll note. And after he files a petition, he says, well, maybe I'll notice my commission. Maybe they should know what's going on. You know, was he rogue? Was he doing this on his own? Or did the commission bless this? There's no record that the commission blessed his authority to file a petition on its behalf.
Yeah, I think it was an executive session.
For what purpose?
Because if this goes through, it will
No.
massively mess up our system.
That's no reason for an executive session. And there's no record that this was listed on for executive session. It's supposed to itemize what you're going into executive session for. The only thing I saw for executive session was a personnel matter once. I reviewed all the minutes from that.
I think they said litigation, but anyway. Go ahead.
But in any event, and there was no mention in that October meeting, in the minutes, that there had been a tentative approval, that he had submitted materials in support of his position. In fact, he said the reason they submitted the petition was that it would give the commission an opportunity to present materials in support of his position. So I'm just wondering how much the commission knew what was going on in terms of a tentative approval. They had made their approval. They had approved these applications. And if there wasn't a public hearing, they would have gone through already. And the petition that was submitted under the authority of the commission, there's no record that he has the authority to do that. Even if you go into executive session improperly, you still got to come out and make a motion. Oh, I forgot one thing I just want to bring to your attention. About these maps.
You brought up the Scarborough Fair. Did you want to talk about that also?
I just want to say this. I don't intend that dialogue.
Oh.
Because I'm raising our issues.
This is the map you're referring to?
I can't see that far. But I don't know what. No, I'm talking about a different map. I'm talking about.
Is that what you were referring to, sir?
No, I don't know what maps, because I haven't seen them, what maps they were referring to to claim some Farmington Avenue property. But all I do know is that this commission, under 8-87-7, I believe, 87-10, is obligated on September 1st of every year to file a map with the town clerk of its district. That map hasn't been filed since 2014. Perhaps Berlin Water Control should pay attention to its own regs and less on the regs of the Kensington Fire District and the Worthington Fire District.
It hasn't changed it. We were given
There is a
we were given
requirement.
exclusive service area by walk.
Okay.
You don't need to
I'm
file
not going to
another
argue.
map.
I'm not going to argue. I'm making a statement
No, I
to the
understand.
audience.
Okay, that's fine. I just want clarification for you.
Despite having been granted, despite not having been granted authorization by the commission, it was represented to the DEP adjudicator at a status conference on these petitions that Ray was representing the commission. And like I said, this was not previously discussed in any of the other meetings.
To your knowledge.
As represented by the minutes. As represented, it was never an agenda item, and there was never any meeting minutes that reflected any action on this in any of the minutes that I've reviewed from back in April. As to the substance of the applications, Worthington Fire District is saving its customers and taxpayers significant money. Shame on the council if they allow this, if it votes to take a position at the public hearing that deprives Berlin residents, those that you're elected to represent, significant cost savings. If the Berlin Water Control Commission needs to improve its system, because flow reversals or meter pits like we had to do it. But don't tell us we can't buy water cheaper because you need our money. We're gonna raise a conflict issue with the, we're gonna raise a conflict issue with the town attorney. That Worthington Fire District residents pay significant tax dollars to the town of Berlin. It is a conflict for these tax dollars to be applied to the town attorney to argue against their best interests. They're essentially paying a town attorney to argue against their position in court.
In your opinion, as an attorney.
Let him finish, please.
The Berlin Water Control Commission should retain separate counsel for this matter and pay for those legal fees out of its operating budget. The charter's pretty interesting. The town of Berlin and the Berlin Water Control Commission is a safety net. Under 871, you guys got to provide water to the whole town, including common infrastructure, everything. It's a safety net, but it can't impair Worthington Fire District's or Kennington Fire District's operations. The authority of any existing fire district shall not be impaired by the terms of this chapter, 8-7-6 of the charter. Let me just. So you're impairing our ability to enter into contracts and to operating our system the way we see fit. This charter is being violated.
You're claiming there's an impairment. There's no impairment.
I'm not going to argue with you, Ray.
I'm just telling you.
I'm telling you there is an impairment. Okay, we're trying to buy water cheaper. That impairs our ability to buy water cheaper. You're impairing our operation of the system.
Question.
By making decisions for us.
Question. As a person that is a Worthington representative, I'm a customer. Okay.
You're also our liaison. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh, I'm holding you up. Go ahead.
I'm sure you're anxious. We'd love to cooperate and have some transparency with all the different 3 districts and with Mattabesset as well. I would hope that the transparency extends to all districts from the Mattabesset, because we have a representative of the town of Berlin, not a representative of the Berlin Water Control Commission, not a representative of the Worthington Fire District, not a representative of the Kennington Fire District, a representative of the town of Berlin. So any information that person has, that our Berlin representative, the Mattabesset, has, that affects the Kensington Fire District or the Worthington Fire District, that information should be shared all the time on a timely basis, whether it be meetings that are being conducted or actions that are being taken. If the Mattabesset representative is withholding information from the Worthington Fire District, that could be a breach of the ethical obligations that person has under the town of Berlin charter. I would expect the Mattabesset representative, the liaison of the Worthington Fire District, to share all information with the Worthington Fire District.
That would include the director of the Mattabesset. He is the liaison to, and Nick Stevenson, and myself.
We just want all information. We're not getting all information. Okay? There's not transparency. I already discussed this. Just getting tied in the circular of balance, and it was time. In June, on that June 2nd correspondence that Ray had with the DEP, he attached, the end of it. Everybody's copied on it, myself included. We believe our state senator and representative, town mayor, and town manager all recognize the difficulties we continue to face with the continued operation of these 2 water districts in Berlin. We want them out of business. That sounds like he wants us out of business, which is against the charter. It's a violation of the charter. And to be honest with you, a balanced narrative to that is the difficulties that we've experienced dealing with the manager of the Berlin Water Control Commission, who's putting out a false narrative as to what's going on. And that's why we're willing to cooperate with everybody. But the adversarial approach of this commission through its manager is ruining that relationship. That's all I have to say.
Wow. You said a lot.
I said a lot. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
All right, can I ask you a few questions?
I may not answer them. This audience is citizens. Just
Yeah.
Are you going to be,
go ahead.
or is it just a ditto?
Is it a ditto or?
Well, I'm going to reiterate some of the stuff, Liam, because basically the charter says that the authority of the fire district shall not be impaired. And it seems like what's going on is you're trying to impair, like Tim said, the ability of the Worthington Fire District to buy water at a more favorable rate That's impairing. I mean, there's an item on the agenda for the town council tonight that originally came out, and I don't know if this was accurate or not, to authorize the, the town manager and mayor to petition the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection to deny the diversion permit. Well, apparently that was misstated on the agenda, but where did that come from? Deny the petition. Who said deny the petition?
Not to deny the petition.
Well, that's the way it came out, right?
Challenging.
Why you can't challenge it?
Can I?
Now, we've already got tentative approval.
All right.
After considering all the evidence.
Let me ask you this. In your report, there is no hydraulics.
Wait a minute.
All right.
You're talking about two different things. This is not the.
You talking about our diversion permit?
Adjudicate to that.
Every
particular-
question that was asked
the
by
diversion
Ray
permit is
was
on the
responded to
paper.
by our engineer in the DEP theater.
Yeah.
He responded to everything that
Did he
Ray
ever
brought up.
ask me about anything? Did he ever come to me?
How often do you come to us and ask? You gotta
That's
ask
not
us
the
about
point. The
business.
point of
Yeah,
it,
it is
you're-
the
you're
point.
changing
We operate our
whole-
system.
You're changing our whole operation. He never even had most of the data that he took was inaccurate. Did you know that? Because he got it from Joe and Joe didn't know our system.
Joe,
And he keeps
I'm not
saying,
gonna argue with
giving
you.
them the wrong
I'm not going to argue with
information.
you, Ray. DEP looked at all the evidence and granted us tentative
They
approval.
looked at the
You said
evidence
that your water
only
is
on,
cheaper.
yeah.
You did not put in your 2% tax on top of that.
That has got nothing to do with it at the moment. The point of it is they had a one-sided petition, and that's the reason I asked for a petition to that process, because they never heard from us. You never
You
brought
did hear
anything.
from us. You submitted evidence in
At the
June.
end.
In June.
Yes, because I just found out that they were working on the application.
Yeah, and they
were
considered your
working on
evidence
the
and they granted the
application
application.
only because they were working on it. I didn't know until October that they were actually going to grant it. That's when I got noticed that there was an
It
attempt
was
to
published
grant.
September 26th.
Yeah, right. And I didn't get any copies
And
of
everything
that.
was done pursuant to the statute.
I understand that.
And
and I
everything
don't-
was
and I
done
don't
pursuant
question
to the
that.
statute.
I don't
There's
question
nothing
that.
that requires
I don't
notice to
question
you.
it. When the notice came out, I didn't have a copy of the notice. Neither one of you sent a notice to me and said, oh, listen, by the way, we're purchasing water from another supply. And that's going to impact us, but you don't feel that there's an impact to us?
There's a lot of things that could be probably worked out better with more cooperation, right?
Well, you keep saying that, but we never had these quarterly meetings, and we never come out without a quarterly
Yeah, well,
meeting with anything positive. And a comment to your WUC. I have brought it up to the WUC, and the trouble with the WUC is fact that that's the only two agenda items, and they don't want to have put that on the board because they feel that nobody's going to show up for it. The two items that we're talking on
We
the
didn't know he was
agenda.
going to show up. The two parties are going to show up. They're supposed to mediate this.
I understand that. I'll give you Dave Banker's number, and you can call Dave Banker. He's the Central Connecticut WUC.
And we can resolve, we can hopefully resolve all the
Yeah.
customer
Well,
issues.
I'd like to say something as a representative of the Mattabesset, okay? We're looking at I&I that's off the charts, and what they go by is the last 5 years, okay? We're only allowed out of that piece of pie 15.
I understand the I&I.
All right, let me finish. Okay, we're at 22. All right? They are, in the next 2 years, they're going to reevaluate that. Okay? And that number is substantially going to go up from where it's now.
Well aware of all this. Well aware of what the I&I issue, and it's all over the north. It's all over the country. So older systems.
Well, hold on.
The Water
Yeah,
Control
you're right
Commission
about-
is fortunate that they do not have an as old a system as the Worthington Fire District nor the Kennington Fire District. They have they have somewhat of an old system with the East Berlin. And I don't know what your
3
I&I
years.
is over there.
3 years, that'll be
Okay.
completely
No,
eradicated.
Okay.
the I&I in East Berlin, it was completely rebuilt because they were discharging directly into the Mattabesset. That's all brand new. It's the water system that's a problem, and it's exactly like what you had, both of you guys had. Over 100 years old, and it's problematic. We're going to have to spend about $7 or $8 million.
And we're dealing with it too.
You're not even close to what you need to do.
But
Just
Ray,
replace the
Ray,
whole,
you
we
need
just
to
replaced the whole
operate your
sewer
own
main
system, not
in
ours.
Harding Street for $1
You
million
know, in
bucks, right?
1984, you were supposed to
7
replace
years late.
73,000 feet of line in the
We've
Kensington Fire District.
relined some lines.
73,000 feet.
There's a lot of Probably not, but there's a
Probably
lot of
not.
infiltration coming into that Harding Street line that's not going to be there anymore.
No, I talk about two different things. That's a sewer. I'm talking about
Water.
Yeah.
We'll get to what we can, Ray.
Now you're telling me. You could have started a long time ago.
We've been
well
more
before I
concentrated
got
on
here
this-
and nothing
We've
happened.
been more concentrated on the sewer.
Well, that's not true.
You got 100,000 gallon, or 100,000
It took a
gallons
CMOM
out.
CMOM requirement to get started.
So you guys want
You
to come in
didn't
and
do it on
operate our
your own.
systems? That's what I'm hearing.
No.
That's what I'm hearing.
Well,
I'm sorry, what?
You guys want to come in and operate our system?
No, what has to happen would be a lot more straight out that the systems all need to be combined. That's
Yeah.
what needs to happen.
Yeah, I think
because
Kensington
it's the
Fire
over-
District should deliver water, and the Berlin Water Control Commission should deal with the sewage.
You're
That's what I think.
one day away from
That doesn't
going
make any sense
completely
at all. You know that.
bankrupt from the 20-inch lines that you got coming in feeding.
He
the
doesn't
system.
have it. He has it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah, but I
now
agree with
you're
you. I agree with you. One system.
Yeah.
The Kensington Fire
We'll take
District
over the water.
operates water delivery, and Berlin Water Control Commission
There's
does
asset
sewer,
problem.
and that's very common in the municipalities in Connecticut.
Yeah, but you're looking at what, $10 million that you guys have, and we're at 50 million. So who's
But the charter's interesting because I look at it as a safety net, and it clearly says that there shall be a water control commission charged with the responsibility of providing adequate water supplies and water pollution control, including the element of sewage systems for the town, et cetera, et cetera.
in that
so
same is
you're
you're talking
the
about the
same-
22,
You're the bottom line. If
1922.
we fail, you got to take us over. So why wouldn't you be encouraging us to exist so that you don't have to take us over?
Because the management
Yeah.
has not been there to take up
Yeah.
these lines and deal with them.
But see, there's a statutory process if you want to try to get rid of districts, all right? Not trying to drive people out of business with water rates, all right? There's a statutory process that I know you're aware of, and I know Ray's aware of, and that's the process. That's the only process,
We've
unless
tried
we're driven out of business,
We've
and that's what we believe that you're trying to do.
We've tried many times. We had FOIs that weren't responded to. We had so many things in the last 4 years that we tried to do, seeing what's going on. And it's not, and I'm looking at it as Mattabesset, okay? They don't care. They're going to get their money, and we get the bill, and then we got to deal with you two guys to get our money. We've already
They don't
lose
care. Mattabesset doesn't care if we.
They're
exist.
going to get their money.
But
They
you
got
said
to fight their
Mattabesset doesn't
60
care.
inch.
Doesn't care about what?
Just a minute. Listen to what I'm saying. They got a 60-inch line. When that sewage gets in there, they know how much sewage came from Berlin.
Mhm.
And they don't care about the 3 districts issue.
I know.
They just care about, we got a permit that we got to get, and DEEP is on our ass right now to getting that straightened out. Okay? They're under pressure now to get that license because they don't want them dumping semi-treated water in the Connecticut River. Okay? So they're under pressure as well. And so this is where this whole thing about I&I that you have not addressed in
INI's been
years,
kicking around for 10 years, and I can
it's
recollect.
way
Oh,
beyond.
it's way beyond that, but I'm talking about in our dialogue, at least 10 years.
It's gotten to the point where Mattabesset is, since I've been on there in the last 4 or 5 years, that we're seeing the bill increase.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we have contracts, and you don't like the contract you have because it doesn't address I&I. All right, and you're trying to collect I&I through the back
Just
door. You're trying to collect I&I through the back door.
How is it the back door?
But really, maybe this is as recognizing that you're a stopgap, that you're a safety net, that because of the age of this, maybe I&I should be absorbed by the
Are you saying that
by
we
the
should-
entire town.
We should pay
Not-
for all the improvements?
No, I didn't say that.
This isn't going to get anywhere. I don't know why you bother.
Yeah, well, anyway, in that
I don't say
report-
you, it's the town of Berlin. There's a distinction
I'm
between
aware.
the town of Berlin and the Berlin Water Control Commission.
Yeah.
We're responsible if you go under. That's right. And,
Okay.
So you don't want us to go under. You shouldn't want us to go under.
I think we're up.
all right.
Because
Is there
they're
anything
double
else you'd like to
check.
No,
add?
that's okay.
No.
Also,
All right, so you can decide which
It
way.
was
you want.
enlightening,
What's that?
to say the least.
I haven't got it lightning.
Enlightening, yes.
Lisa,
Chairman Peck.
Thank you, guys, appreciate
hold
the
on,
time.
Joe wants.
Joe, wait a minute,
I
Joe.
don't know. He doesn't have
Yeah,
this.
he's just on there.
He's just observing.
No, I'm not just on here.
Oh,
So
here it is.
hey, thanks, Ray. So what I'm hearing is you don't want to address the fact that you guys are opposing the purchase from Kensington to Worthington. The I understand there's a big concern. I can tell you straight up, Kensington devoted $2.8 million replacing New Britain Road all the way to Farmington Avenue where Dairy Queen is. That's a lot of money. We are curbing our I. Unfortunately, the districts do not have the deep pockets that water control enjoys through the town of Berlin. We do not get tax dollars from the entire town to support our effort. And we do participate in the relining of the trunk line. We pay for the maintenance of the pump system, right, on the Berlin Turnpike. And to the best of my knowledge, when I asked for a report of how much I was curbed by the relining of the main trunk line, it was a preventative measure, not an I repair. And I get that, but it was presented as I. We are curbing I every day, but we don't have $100 million to dump in.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
I. Ray, I'm addressing the chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank
yeah,
you anyway.
I accept your apology. So this meeting was in regards to you impairing our ability to sell water to Worthington through New Britain. The I thing is very interesting. We're addressing it. We are our own system. It's not like we're a symbiont relationship. We've done our homework. Weston Sampson has done a great job as far as I'm concerned. Why does water control want to impede the ability of Worthington to buy from Kensington from New Britain when none of the districts are impairing your ability to buy from Meriden? Liam.
Do you want an answer for that?
I do.
There's 13 meters that are going to be affected, and the way it's set up,
What are we talking about?
Who's
we talk about water here, right?
Yeah, there's nothing.
whose water meters?
The Worthington area, if they get there's
They have 7 meters right now.
there's
and
7.
5 additional valves.
There are meters that allow flow.
And what I'm getting at is the management of that would affect our flows of water to our constituents if they have full control over those valves.
Worthington
No.
does have full control
No,
over
the basic thing here is,
Ray, would
you
you
never,
let the
never
chair
address. I'm sorry, are you
would
gonna say
let the
something?
chairman talk? So Liam, those meters, only 2 have bi-directional flow. One is on Ledge with Hummingbird. The other one is on Middletown Road, which, by the way, you guys have numerous breaks on Middletown Road, causing us
Yeah,
major.
that's your old main.
What'd you say, Ray?
That's your old main, basically.
It's
That's your
main.
main
It's
from
your main.
Worthington to East Berlin.
Do you own that main?
I know, now I do, unfortunately, yes.
Oh, you like your service area to be bigger? You got it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I have
good.
to keep fixing it.
So fix your line. Maybe you should change that to an 8-inch ductile, instead of 6-inch cast iron.
You're absolutely right.
Your system is your system. Our system is our system, or Worthington's system. I'm talking about. So there's only 2 meters that have flow in both directions. We will not be impeding your system whatsoever.
Joe,
What is your height? What'd you say, Liam?
No, this is Ray.
Oh.
Joe, the only point I want to make is that you never contacted us in advance. You never
We
told
don't
us. The
Ray, we
consultant
don't-
never contacted us.
Ray, we
Never
don't have
questioned
to.
anything.
You don't have to.
DEP has no idea what the impact you're doing to us. Your attorney here basically has indicated there was some concern about an area on Mysterio Drive, yet you're creating 10 more times more problem areas than that particular one. And if you
Ray,
got a
what does
concern
your
there, you got
hydraulic model say, Ray?
in your operation.
What
So-
does your hydraulic model say, Ray?
That's the other thing, is there was no hydraulic model attached. You're correct. There wasn't nothing attached.
Your hydraulic model for your
There
system.
was no C-factor determinations, No hydraulic models,
Right,
no indication of
right,
what the flows
right.
would be, no indication of chemistry, none of that. None of that was brought out. There was a lot of deficiencies in that report. You think it was great. I don't think it was great at all.
Ray, you didn't think it was great for us to replace the Worthington to replace the lines in the Webster Heights area. Turns out it was.
Oh, I did. And what happened?
That's
You
enough.
canceled it out. $800,000 went down the
Ray,
drain.
Ray, you
Had enough-
shot it down by vote when you tried to get Liam elected to the Worthington Fire District Committee. You shot it down. You
That
personally.
has nothing to do with it, Joe. Basically,
Ray,
that's
it
a
has everything
separate
to do
issue.
with it.
You
The
brought up
vote was there,
You brought up
vote was
the
there.
issue of DWSRF.
You know what, Ray?
That was your responsibility, and apparently the health department says you dropped the ball, so you dropped the ball.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to talk to you directly.
Okay,
All right. So if you have a hydraulic model of your system, you can simply run it and see how it will impact your system. Have you done that?
No, you're the one that's doing it. You're the one that's making the changes. You run the hydraulic model.
no,
It's not my
Joe,
responsibility.
Ray,
You
no,
are
Ray,
my
stay in your lane.
system.
I'm talking to Liam, Ray. Okay?
all right, hold on, guys, hold on. Yeah, Joe,
I'm supposed to
you're-
check to see what you're going to do to us.
You're impacting our system. It's not
Unbelievable.
something that
Never heard of that
we're,
before.
the
Liam, do
hydraulics
you
have
have
been in your
control of the
report.
meeting? You have control of your meeting, Liam.
Yeah,
Liam, the meeting
We're not
is
having dialogue.
well,
Have you run your hydraulic model to see how this?
usually these
But
items,
you will.
these items are never challenged because if somebody needs water, but there wasn't the other side, that it's very, we're a very unique situation. And because normally there is no other side, but when there was a side brought up, there was some question brought up. I was there at that meeting when you tried to, because of 24 people instead of 25, that's being an attorney. But at the same time,
I got to get to the next meeting. So
oh God, yes.
Liam, all I'm asking you is, did you run your hydraulic model to see how this would impact your system?
no, that's your responsibility because you're
We're not
making the
responsible
changes.
for your system.
You're responsible for because you're impacting us. You're a hole in our system. Can you get it? Can you get it?
No, Ray,
You're
I'm not holding-
DEP got it.
You're going
granted.
back to 1992 for that use of that
DEP
meter
got it
station.
granted.
1992. Nobody's
It
used
isn't a done
And you know
deal.
what happened in
Chairman, I'm
1992?
trying to make a point here. Could we have a
Said
dialogue
you
or
want
no?
to get away from Kensington Fire District
All right,
in a meeting.
yeah.
No.
Also, do
We
you
just- we
recognize that I'm your representative? Because the last time I got thrown out of your meeting, that I was not your representative,
Representative for what, Matt Bassett?
Matt Bassett.
Yeah, of course you are.
You're our
Okay,
representative, and we expect full dialogue with
Okay.
you on everything
And
that's
don't throw
going
me
on.
out of the meetings.
Then everything that's going on.
Then
All
let's
right.
get going because I
All
got.
right.
Everything that's going on. Have you been forthright in sharing all
Well, I'll be
information?
happy to.
Have you been?
This,
Have you been? Yes or no?
I think I could be a little better for you.
Okay, a lot better.
Liam, would you please answer my question?
But
Did you run your hydraulic model to see how this would?
No.
Answer the question,
It is
Joe.
not
How many
something
times
that
you
is-
want it?
Can you control your meeting, please?
All right, thanks.
All right,
Thank
you're
you.
circular right now.
Appreciate
Have a
it.
good
Thank
day, yeah.
It's a
Okay.
circus.
Thanks,
Approval
Joe.
of, yeah, circus. Who could do
Happy
that?
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, you too.
You too. Approval of minutes. Let's get going because I got to go through
Okay.
this.
Can I get a motion to approve the previous minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Go down.
Come on, let's go. Second. We got a approved first, second, all
Jim
all
Dave.
in favor?
Okay. The only thing I'm gonna, and we've already killed it, but 4.1 is the issue of the diversion permit. So that's been explained in pretty much detail. The only thing is a hearing now, January 14, 2025 at 5 PM. So
Yep.
just want to bring that out. 4.2, sale of excess water permit. We filed this with the Department of Public Health. This is for the Meriden connection. So we have now a Meriden connection, sale of excess water permit in place, and also a diversion permit to deep that we filed. 4.3, PFAS. Now, I've got a letter from DPH regarding the issue of monitoring for PFAS testing in the future. When I reached out to them and discussed it, basically they were telling me that even though I participated in the UCMR 5, I would have to go back to the EPA laboratory and determine what their modifications and levels of detection were, because that would require that. So that data may not even be acceptable to them for usage. So I went ahead and scheduled through Regional Water Authority, collected 3 tests there, 2 from the well and 1 from New Britain. And basically, they're going to be testing for the PFAS analysis for us. 4.4, DPC consultant, the final report's been issued. I'm still reviewing it. There's a portion in there that's interesting because of the impact of the inventory for the water and the inventory for the sewer pipes makes a substantial difference in the actual value of our system, both water and sewer. Water went up substantially, sewer went down a little bit, but still relatively high. I think what I'd like to do is schedule a meeting during the day and maybe announce it to you guys, and you generally may want to come in and just listen to them make that presentation rather than having it on a monthly meeting. But I'm going to try to do that and see if that works out. 4.5, Meriden diversion. We were originally toying with the idea about paying for this the entire project, roughly 1.6 million. But there's indications that we might be able to get a grant as a result of that. We've discussed it and said that we don't want to leave the money on the table. So we're basically looking at going ahead with using a DWSRF and also possibly making an amendment to include the corrosion inhibition within the internal of the lamentation tank. I talked to Department of Public Health this morning. They suggested that we could make a modification and that they would approve it, and we could include then the tank as well as the connection to Meriden in one grant, in one application. So so we're looking at that. I'm not quite sure as to what we might consider for the internal tank. It probably costs about $500,000, I figure, initially, maybe a little bit more than that. So we'll see. But with today's cost of tank replacement, that's well within the good budget. Last item, we went going back and forth this morning with SB Church. 1 minute they said that they were going to start doing the redevelopment of our wells in early December 8th. And then they decided then they had December 1st, and they went back and forth and finally finished the other project they had. So they're looking at actually physically starting in December 1st. In that, both wells will be rehabbed. Additionally, the pump, which will be a new pump for 2A, will be in place as a turbine pump, so that will be brand new. That's the first one in a long time for me. We've already had the submersible pump replaced once. Okay, that brings us to executive session. I don't know if we want to just have the discussion there or not.
The only thing I want to bring up.
Hold on. Do I have a motion to get into executive session, or do we even want to do it?
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah.
But it's got to be quick, gentlemen.
Yep.
Okay.
Do I get a second?
I'll second.
Got moved and seconded.
So Sebi and Jim?
Yep.
What is so important at this town council meeting?
Because it's asking them.
He gets up there, right?
Well, he's going to make a presentation.
Are we on?
You're still on.
Hold on.
He's going to make a presentation at the first thing. He's going to be doing it at the thing because it's not.
Hold on, Ray.
Hold on, Ray.
I don't know where picture. Okay, we're going into executive session. And I need to.
Okay, now I guess we're going to get out of executive session. We never had it.
Yeah, I make a motion that we
Get out of executive session. I got a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I get a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
That's it.
Second.
Don't need a second.